Try to remember your third birthday party. Can you see the cake? Can you hear your own laugh? You can't. And the strange part is, it's not because you've forgotten. The real answer is far stranger than forgetting. Your brain was there. Your eyes saw the candles. Your ears heard the singing, but the part of you that turns moments into memories hadn't finished building itself yet. This isn't a flaw. It happens to every human who has ever lived. Scientists call it infantile amnesia, and for over a century, nobody could explain why it happens to literally everyone. Even Sigmund Freud noticed it and gave it its name, though his explanation turned out to be wrong. The real explanation is hiding inside the architecture of your skull. Picture your brain as a city under construction. Roads are being paved, power lines are being strung up. Some buildings are finished, others are just steel frames. Now imagine trying to mail a letter through a city where the post office hasn't been built yet. The letter exists, the address exists, but there's nowhere for it to land. That's what happens inside a baby's brain every single day. The structure responsible for filing away long-term memories is called the hippocampus. It sits deep in the middle of your brain, curled like a seahorse, which is actually where its name comes from. In an infant, the hippocampus is still growing new neurons at a staggering rate. New cells keep getting wedged into the same circuits that are supposed to be holding onto memories. Imagine trying to keep a photo album organized while someone keeps ripping out random pages and gluing in new ones. That's roughly what's happening inside a 1-year-old's head. But here's where it gets strange. Babies do remember things, just not in the way you remember things. In the 1990s, a researcher named Carolyn Rovey Collier ran a series of experiments that quietly rewrote what scientists thought they knew about infant memory. She attached a ribbon from a baby's ankle to a mobile hanging above the crib. Kick your foot, and the mobile spins. Babies as young as 2 or 3 months old figured this out fast. Weeks later, when she brought back the same mobile, the babies remembered. They started kicking again, before the ribbon was even reattached. Their bodies remembered the trick. Their conscious minds, the part that would one day say, "I remember doing that," never got the message. So which kind of memory matters more? This is the first clue to the puzzle. There isn't just one kind of memory, there are several, and they grow on different timelines. The kind of memory that lets you ride a bike or tie your shoes without thinking is called procedural memory. It lives in older, more primitive parts of the brain, and it's almost fully online from birth. That's why a baby can learn to kick for a mobile. But the kind of memory that lets you say, "I remember my 5th birthday, I was wearing a dinosaur costume," is called episodic memory. It requires the hippocampus to be fully wired, and that wiring takes years, not months. A developmental psychologist named Patricia Bauer has spent decades studying exactly when this wiring finishes. Her research found that children can form short-term episodic memories well before age 2, sometimes recalling specific events for weeks or months. But those early memories are fragile. They get overwritten, faded, or simply lost as new neurons crowd the very circuits that were holding them. Bauer's work suggests it isn't that babies can't remember, it's that almost nothing survives the renovation happening inside their own skulls. So the memories were real. They just didn't have a permanent address to live at. There's a second piece to this puzzle, and it has nothing to do with neurons. It has to do with language. A researcher named Carol Peterson studied how children talk about their own pasts, and she found something remarkable. The earliest memories people can access as adults tend to cluster right around the age they first developed real conversational language, roughly 3.5 years old. Why would talking have anything to do with remembering? Because language gives experience a shape. Before you can say, "Yesterday, we went to the park and I fell down," an event is just a blur of sensation. Once you can narrate it, the event gets a beginning, a middle, and an end. It becomes a story, and your brain is extraordinarily good at holding on to stories. Without that narrative scaffolding, even a vivid event can dissolve, like trying to hold water with your fingers spread. This is why your earliest memory probably isn't your earliest experience. It's your earliest story. Here's the twist that makes this whole subject so much stranger than it first appears. Infantile amnesia isn't universal in the way you'd expect. Researchers comparing children across different cultures have found that kids raised in environments with rich, detailed conversations about the past, parents who ask